Well, you know, there's plenty of intrigue to go around, right? There's apparently a witch hunt of historic proportions. There's an evil dictator meddling in our elections and a campaign to smear a newly elected president. And there's one man who may have the answers, but here's the thing. He wants protection. President Trump understood in a tweet he supported General Michael Flynn's stunning offer to testify before Congress on the Trump team's possible ties to Russia, of course, in exchange for immunity. The House National Security Advisor has a, quote, story to tell. Right now, though, no one is biting. Here to discuss, Robert Bianchi, Caitlin Collins, and Jim Hansen. Jim, I'll start with you. You've been on top of this, and you've been pretty adamant that there's something there, right? And today, Kim Strausser wrote an amazing piece in a journal saying, listen, there are 5 things that we know. That dozens of documents about information that Trump floated around that were not related to Russia, that reports that were masked, but they were written in such a way that you would know exactly who they were and that they went way beyond just Michael Flynn. In other words, her ultimate conclusion is that Devin Nunes knows that the Obama administration spied on officials in Donald Trump's transition team.
And he knows who it was who unmasked those names. You know, the Democrat media collective loves to go all in on a narrative, and Trump Russia was what they were going to use to take him down. Well, noted philosopher on HBO's The Wire, Omar, said, "You come at the king, you best not miss." And it looks like they might have missed. So right now, they're all scrambling. And if I wanted to be making money as far as who's the one who did the unmasking, John Brennan's the name I'd put my money on.
Wow, okay.
He's a noted liar. He actually lied to Congress about the CIA illegally spying on Congress. So it's in his wheelhouse.
Caitlin, you've been on top of this as much as anyone else. What this latest turn of events in the last 24 hours, including Representative Schiff going to the White House and just leaving moments ago?
Yeah, the White House is saying that they want Michael Flynn to testify. They're okay with that. But the president did call for him to seek immunity on Twitter today. And people pointed out that it was hypocritical because he did criticize Hillary Clinton, her aides, who wanted immunity when they were investigating her use of a private email server. But the point is, there's nothing wrong with requesting immunity in something like this. It does not mean you're guilty. People just pointed out today that it was a little hypocritical for Donald Trump to tell Michael Flynn, his former national security advisor, to seek immunity when he's criticized other people for doing so in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's theatrics, though, right? I want to go to Robert Bianchi. We have him on the phone. He's a former New York prosecutor. You know, I think that part it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you know that you're going to be targeted in some way, but you also want your story to get out there. More importantly, Robert, what do you think he has to tell? I mean, because you don't typically, as a prosecutor, you would not offer immunity unless you were going to get something really juicy in return.
Yeah, Charles, I mean, one thing for sure is that we know he's not on Team FBI, because if he were cooperating, which was being speculated about last week, then they would have him buttoned down and he wouldn't be making any public statements whatsoever. The second thing is typically he would have to be subpoenaed, assert his Fifth Amendment right, and then not seek immunity, but require immunity be given to him before he speaks before any committee. Plain and simple, as many years, 28 years of doing this as a criminal trial attorney and as a prosecutor for half of a career, this tells me he wants to come forward, in my mind, to clear his name. Now, that may be very dangerous, and no lawyer wants somebody to go forward just to do that. But with high, publicly visible, profiled clients, a lot of times it's not just about the law. It's also about clearing their reputation.
Guys, we're trying to put this on a full screen for the audience, but my team has emailed me a statement that just came from Ranking Member Schiff, who, again, moments ago left the White House. I want to just share the last paragraph. Nothing I could see today warranted a departure from the normal review procedure, and these materials should now be provided to full members of both committees. The White House has yet to explain why senior White House staff apparently shared these materials with but one member of either committee, only for their contents to be briefed back to the White House. What do you make of that, Jim? Essentially, because this is supposedly, I guess, is this material that Representative Nunes got in his position, some that came from the White House or White House staff, is supposedly the smoking gun?
Here's the thing, Charles. He did what he's been doing, Schiff has been doing all along, which is try to focus on the process in which the intelligence came out, not on the fact that it points out that crimes were committed by Obama officials. If that's what happened, and Kim Strassel's article and some reporting by Adam Hausner from Fox seem to confirm that this unmasking was a crime, it did occur, and it was done by a senior Obama administration official, that's what matters. Who cares how the information came out?
Again, Caitlin, we have been sidetracked. Deflection is a great sport played in D.C. by both sides of the aisle, by the way. But I think Jim hits the nail on the head. To me, the big story here, at least from what I can tell, is the unmasking and the lack of faith that we all now have in our intelligence communities.
Yes, I think they're both good stories. But yes, people want to know why a private citizen who wasn't in office had their identity unmasked. You know, that should be concerning for everyone, not just for the few people who were involved. And I do agree that story is not getting the coverage that it should. You know, they want to demonize Donald Trump a little bit, the mainstream media, and so they're criticizing him and they're finding any little thing they can, but they need to focus on who unmasked those people and why it happened and if they're still there.
Well, guys, even though the plot keeps thickening, I feel like we took one big step closer today. And this is something I really want us to find. We've got to get justice here, and also someone has to pay. This is an egregious misuse of power. Thank you both very much. And also, Robert, you guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, Charles.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the major...